On May 14, 1948, the British mandate in Palestine was set to expire at midnight. Outside, a coalition of Arab armies prepared to invade. Inside a crowded Tel Aviv museum, delegates rushed to finalize a dangerous gamble. At the center of it all stood David Ben Gurion. Barely 5 feet tall, he stepped up to the podium and proclaimed the creation of the State of Israel. How did a sickly, introverted socialist from Poland manage to forge a modern nation-state while completely surrounded by hostile forces? The answer lies in his political evolution. He secured the state by becoming a ruthless pragmatist, a leader willing to abandon his own ideological foundations to ensure his country survived. He was born David Grün in 1886 in the town of Płońsk, located in modern-day Poland. It was a center for Jewish religious learning, but also a community living under the constant threat of violent anti-Semitic riots known as pogroms across the Russian Empire. Seeking an escape from Eastern Europe's persecution, he emigrated to the Ottoman-controlled Levant in 1906. He arrived with a specific Marxist Zionist vision to reclaim the ancestral homeland through the sheer physical labor of farming. The environment quickly broke that romantic image. Attempting to till the inhospitable swamps of the region, he contracted a severe case of malaria within weeks. Lying sick in a hospital bed, he recognized he was not cut out for agricultural work. To forge a new nation, picking up a shovel wouldn't be enough. He needed to build centralized political machinery. Throughout the 1920s and 30s, he operated as a relentless organizer. Adopting the name Ben Gurion, he brought fragmented workers' factions under a single umbrella by creating the Histadrut Labor Federation and the Mapai political party, effectively constructing a state within a state. By 1939, this emerging political community faced a severe crisis. The British government, which administered the territory, issued a white paper heavily restricting Jewish immigration, at the exact moment fascism was sweeping across Europe. Recognizing that the British Empire was becoming an unreliable partner, Ben Gurion shifted his diplomatic weight westward. He traveled to the United States to rally public opinion, eventually securing vital support from President Harry Truman. This map shows the 1947 United Nations partition plan, dividing mandatory Palestine into distinct Jewish and Arab territories. Ben Gurion's action was offered only a small, fragmented portion of the land. Many hardliners rejected the offer completely, demanding the entire territory. But Ben Gurion endorsed the UN plan. He understood that absolute sovereignty over a flawed, broken map was far more valuable than remaining a permanent minority without a recognized refuge. That refuge was immediately tested. The day after Ben Gurion declared independence in May 1948, neighboring Arab armies crossed the borders to dismantle the new state. To survive the invasion, Ben Gurion mandated total centralization. He dissolved the various independent, ideological Jewish militias that had operated during the British Mandate, forcing them into a single unified chain of command, the Israel Defense Forces. When a right-wing paramilitary group attempted to bring in their own arms aboard a ship called the Altalena, Ben Gurion ordered his troops to fire on it. He spilled Jewish blood to ensure no faction could challenge the authority of the central government. His wartime calculus applied to the local Arab population as well. During the intense fighting to secure the road between Tel Aviv and Jerusalem, Ben Gurion authorized military commanders to expel Palestinian Arabs from key cities to widen and secure the territory. In the crucible of the 1948 conflict, Ben Gurion demonstrated that he would neutralize any threat, internal dissidents or external populations, to guarantee Israel's existence. With the initial war won, the new country faced an incredibly precarious reality. The population doubled in 4 years as refugees poured in, while defeated neighboring states openly promised a second round of fighting, forcing Israel into a heavily militarized posture. The state was practically bankrupt. To fund its survival, Ben Gurion negotiated directly with West German Chancellor Konrad Adenauer to secure millions in financial reparations. It was a fiercely opposed decision that outraged Holocaust survivors, but Ben Gurion chose economic solvency over emotional purity. He also sought the ultimate deterrent against future invasions. He forged a secret alliance with France to build a nuclear facility in the Negev desert, publicly claiming it was strictly to meet domestic energy needs. His administration operated entirely on calculated realism. He discarded socialist dogmas and international goodwill whenever they conflicted with national security, relying instead on covert weapons programs and controversial alliances to build an untouchable fortress. Over time, his centralized, autocratic grip on the government exhausted his allies. Facing mounting rebellions from within his own party and scandals inside the intelligence community, he finally stepped down from national leadership. He retreated to the modest kibbutz of Sde Boker in the remote Negev desert. It was a final attempt to lead by example, hoping his personal return to the harsh frontier would revive the pioneering spirit of his youth. Today, evaluating David Ben Gurion requires navigating two very different realities. To some, he is the visionary statesman who secured a necessary haven for the Jewish people after the horrors of the Second World War. To others, he is the architect of mass displacement and a regional conflict that persists decades later. Both narratives stem from the exact same set of decisions. Modern Israel, with its incredible economic resilience and its deeply entrenched border disputes, is the direct result of a man who decided that survival required absolute compromise.